the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.
Regan Slaymaker for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings, and courtesy of Highbet, I have the absolute pleasure to be joined by two-weight world champion David Haye. David, it's an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
How are you? I mean, nice little establishment we're sat in today.
It is, yeah, Boysdale in Canary Wharf. Get down there. We've got a little cigar room here. Yeah, get involved. It's nice. Good drinks, good vibes, live music. Yeah.
Definitely, it's a really nice place, so get yourself down here as well. I mean, yeah, here courtesy of Highbet. I mean, on fight week for Eubank Jr versus Benn too. I mean, are you, as someone involved in boxing, the career you had, do you still get excited for massive fights like this?
Usually I don't. I've been there, seen it. I've been involved in it. Rarely do I get really excited for the big fight. I was excited for the first fight, very much so. The unknown of Benn, you know, I didn't know how he could compete at middleweight. Could he take a middleweight's punch? You know, could he maintain that work rate, that crazy work rate he's got for 12 rounds at middleweight? I didn't know. Now I know he can, and he can take the punches and he can dish them out. It makes it all the more entertaining for the second fight. And the question marks I had first time have all been well and truly answered. And yeah, we got ourselves another classic.
Definitely. Are you expecting, obviously, with the first fight, a lot of hatred going into it, egg slaps and everything like that? Yeah. Are you expecting round 13?
Yes. I'm expecting round 13. Both, there's so much at stake, and both fighters seem to thrive on the big night, the big action, and fans have gone bananas for this fight. And it's all to fight for. There's no world title on the line. There doesn't need to be. Some fights are bigger than world titles. It's, you know, for family honour, the family name, and it's gonna live up to the hype.
Oh, I hope so as well. I mean, the big news yesterday was that Anthony Joshua. I mean, reported by Ring Magazine. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul, Miami, December. I mean, what are your thoughts as a former heavyweight world champion? What are your thoughts when you see kind of one of the best heavyweights to come out of the UK? Apparently fighting a YouTuber? It's a bit crazy, isn't it?
It is, but you could say the same thing when Francis Ngannou challenged Tyson Fury, who was at the time the #1 heavyweight on the planet, fighting someone who's never had a fight. Everyone complained, this is disgusting, you're going to ruin your legacy, why are you fighting someone who's never had one boxing match? And I thought Francis Ngannou actually won that fight. He knocked down Tyson Fury and won the majority of the rounds, in my opinion. But he didn't get the decision. But so I think that showed people, even though someone is on paper the best boxer in the world, coming in there against someone who doesn't have the pedigree, crazy things can happen if they're physically able to do it. And Francis Ngannou is a massive guy, big, strong, great wrestler, great puncher with little MMA mitts on. But could he translate in boxing? Yes. Jake Paul, we've seen what he can do, and at a level he's very good. You know, the people who he's been fighting, he's been better than a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. He's better than a 50-year-old Mike Tyson. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he was better than what he was. But once again, these are guys who aren't current, who aren't, you know, ranked in the world right now at heavyweight, and who weren't Olympic gold medalists. Who, you know, this is something completely and utterly different for Jake Paul. And I think, you know, it appears though he lives his life like he can make he's manifesting everything, and he's working up until now. But I think maybe this is a step too far for him.
With that, obviously, with the Francis Ngannou Anthony Joshua fight, like you said, he was coming off the Tyson Fury performance. He did have that world level MMA experience. I mean, with Jake Paul, like you said, he's good at a level. Is that where kind of the people are saying this is dangerous? At least Francis Ngannou had that backing, whereas this is now kind of a bit of a dangerous contest, isn't it? It's
a dangerous contest. You know, if you look at the fight that Tommy Fury had with, I thought Jake Paul beat Tommy Fury when they fought. If it was a close fight, I think he put him down in the last round. I thought he won the fight. But he didn't. He lost the fight on points. You know, now you're trying to... I know this fight was a little while ago and he's improved since then, but has he improved to the level where he can beat Anthony Joshua? I haven't seen anything to suggest that. And it's a crazy fight for him to take, but credit to him. If he is going to put himself in harm's way, for everyone's entertainment and fight Anthony Joshua. God bless him, because he's taken it to the limit. Some people, when I was a kid and I said I'll be heavyweight champion of the world, everyone said you're crazy, and I made it happen. He's doing the same thing. He's not saying to be world champion. He's saying he's going to fight Anthony Joshua and he'll beat Anthony Joshua. He believes it, and if he can manifest it, then I'll be there ringside to see it in action.
Definitely, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy times. I mean, David, I can't not talk to you. I think we've got about 5 minutes left of this interview. I can't not talk to you and not kind of discuss your career. I mean, your career, 2-weight world champion, as I said. 28 wins, 26 of those wins.
It's a high knockout rate.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, with that, before I ask you some kind of specific questions about your career, how do you kind of reflect on it? Do you ever kind of sit down and go, oh, that moment was good, that moment was good? Do you ever reflect on your career?
Not that often, but only when I'm talking to people about it. I do lots of public speaking and going to companies. Now, you always want to know what it felt like when I was walking to my biggest nights, and it's a way of life, and I've been doing it since I was 10 years old. So I'm used to walking out and feeling that pressure. All your friends and your family are watching, and so over time the crowd gets bigger and bigger, and the opponents you're fighting get bigger and bigger and more undefeated, and it's a part of the sort of a boxer's evolution to start off as a kid or as a teenager and gradually work your way through. And it took me 12 years as an amateur, and if you sort of bring that back to going back to Jake Paul, he hasn't really had the amateur pedigree. He's gone in there with all the cameras on him, all the criticisms, and it's tough for fighters now trying to jump straight in there on the camera straight away. When I had 12 years effectively behind the scenes, winning, losing, learning lessons, ups and downs. I wasn't judged really on my amateur credentials. It's once you turn pro and you're fighting for money. You're fighting someone who's there to pick up a paycheck, and if they can get the win over you, they're doing everything possible, because that means that paycheck they're getting could be times 10 next time. So you're fighting people who really want to be there. So the boxing world needs brave people, brave fighters. And going back to the Jake Paul, the fact that he's going to fight Anthony Joshua, that's the ultimate bravery. However much money he's getting paid is irrelevant, because he's got enough money as it is. He's doing it, I think, for the glory. If he's genuinely going to do it, he's doing it for his legacy, and I respect that. I really do. I think he's miscalculated, but I respect that.
Definitely. Talking about bravery in the ring, I don't want to blow your own trumpet, David, but you fought anyone from people who were seven foot tall, massive punchers with that, and beat them as well, by the way. What would you say the highlight win of your career was?
These are just a few highlights. Value of obviously fighting for the heavyweight title. I said since I was a kid, I'm going to be heavyweight champion. I drilled it into everyone. Everyone got sick of me saying it. And when that finally happens, when that dream has been realised, that's the one that's like, yeah, I did it, finally. My name's in the record book. The same belt Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Lennox. So all my heroes had this same belt, and I'm WBA heavyweight champion. That was obviously the highlight. And then you got the Mormec, which was a couple of days ago, 18 years ago. Crazy how time flies. That was, obviously as a professional, I think it was like 20 odd fights I had. Ups and downs, losses, had to learn, go through, learning process, had to move abroad to train to get it together. But it was the toughening process I needed. So when that big fight came, I was prepped and ready. And I was, because I got knocked down. Yeah.
And talking about big fights, on the week of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, technically Eubank Benn 4.
Yeah.
In terms of British rivalries, you were involved in a lot of them. Audley Harris and Enzo Macronelli, but then Tony Bellew, Derek Chisora. How important are those domestic rivalries? Yeah.
A fight is only as good as the attention that it generates and the people who care about the results. There's one thing having two guys giving blood and guts. If you don't know who either is, and you don't care who's going to win, it's not that entertaining. But when you really connect with a personality and you want that person to overcome the other, that's when it gets interesting. So you need rivalries. You need those scenarios where you hate this one person, you love this person, you really want that guy to this. it makes such a difference. You know, the crowd, the pay-per-view, the feeling, you can feel it when you're in the stadium, in the stadium or in the arena. You know, when I fought Tony Bellew, for instance, everyone there was like, I couldn't believe the intensity. It was like everyone was literally on the edge of their seats from the first round, and you only get that with feels like British rivalries, obviously being and patriotic. We have some great, you know, the Benn Eubank was perfect, and he said it's just flowing. It's flowing, and yeah, I just can't wait.
Definitely, I have to thank you for your fights with Tony Bellew, because they're the fights that got me into boxing.
No way. It was tough nights at the office for me, but I'm glad it got you in there.
No, thank you very much. I mean, David, my final one. I ask every single fighter this question. I've got to ask you this. When all's said and done, what does boxing mean to you?
What does
boxing mean to you?
It was, yeah. Boxing is, I know it's it's not my reason for existing. It was my way to, it was my medium to navigate the game of life, combat, fighting. I was born with that fast twitch fiver and the reaction times and the need to be in physical conflict with people. And fortunately, we live in a time where you get paid well for it and people seem to love it. So I'm sure in 100 years' time, all contact sports will be banned. So I'm glad I was born when I was, so I could have some proper rumbles.
And you've etched yourself in the history books. David Haye, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Nice.
The revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.